Well, that wasn't ominous.
Hello, I have some people with me. I don't know why I did this. This is obviously a bad idea. But introduce yourselves, bad ideas.
I'm Heavy Sigh. I was here because I heard there might be a Moses or two around here.
No. This is the plot dump, by the way. It's basically, Jack is basically victim blaming us for opening the coffin, even though we didn't do that.
You shouldn't have been in this thing. When you saw him going for it, you should have left immediately.
Yep.
Oh dear.
We're heading to this temple sect.
The Temple of Sect.
What?
We're
He's the
apparently super
rebranding of
cute.
Set, but with a C.
Yep. So this is, you might recognize the music a little bit if you...
A little bit?
At least you,
I have a
at least
feeling.
you, Heavy Sigh. So yes, this game, or at least this level in it, was inspired by a video game, a fan game you LP'd called, I think it was Action Moses 52, or like, The Jesus Men or something.
Yeah, both of those were pretty cool. It was called Return of Egypt, and it starred a very old man with a staff who was called something like Rambaral, but that's not his actual name, because we just called him Moses because he was literally Moses. He walked on water, split things, did literally magic.
Yeah, but it was basically Chrysylvania, and this game took inspiration from it and basically lifted the music wholesale. Shame
Along with
on
the
you,
aesthetic,
people.
because other than the fact that this is at sunset instead of night, this is basically what the beginning section looked like.
Oh wow.
So, heavily inspired, basically.
Yeah. It's different enough to be... It's different enough to be, distinct, but there's a very clear line there.
Yeah, I mean, the game definitely has its own flavor, and it's really only this level that rips it off, but this is actually a really good level. We're actually gonna go basically inside the pyramid right now, and end the... Well, you'll see. We're gonna start doing things that Moses was not able to do, for good reasons.
For all the things that Moses was, jumping and fighting were not his forte.
Also, other bad idea, I don't think you introduced yourself, but maybe I didn't hear you, because we were all talking over each other.
I'm NGDBSS, and I'm not nearly so familiar with, what did you call it? Return to Egypt. Or Return of Egypt,
Return of Egypt.
Yeah.
But the fact that Jonathan's like, I don't want to revisit here, makes us think that it's sort of... Well, the story of this game is that Jonathan was cursed into a rabbit by some horrible curse. So there's fan theories. Yes, there are fan theories for this game. Shut up. That Jonathan is actually that Moses guy.
Wait. Fan theories for a game that has been out 2 months, according to Steam?
Well, this is on the Steam forums, the Steam discussion boards, but still. There are some very dedicated fans for this game.
I always loved the ancient Egyptian machine gun. It was so much less deadly, so you could use it on children.
Yeah.
And animals.
Basically, it shoots, like, softballs or something. It's not actually that usthough for us. Well, it's
actually looking at it, it looks kind of like the bound laser from Cave Story.
A little bit, yeah, actually.
Though it seems more physics-based, where it's actually bouncing around instead of just sort of hopping.
So remember how I said every item does something? In the first level we collected, I think it was a feather, which is...
The Feather of Isis.
The Feather of Isis. Now we got paper, and we got ink, so we have the ability to make maps. And it's really awkward, because the way you open up your map is you double tap up, and with an analog control stick, you're just gonna see me bring up the map, like, all the time. It's not gonna go away.
Oh boy.
Well, to be fair, it's not slowing anything down, so it's not so bad.
No, it's like a quick overlay, like a Diablo, like, hotkey map. But you're gonna see that overlay happen quite a lot.
Okay.
In the course of gameplay, you do double taps on an up analog stick quite so often, as I found out.
Okay. So, are there going to be commands that sort of conflict with the map, or...?
No, this is basically the only one of those.
Okay. So you won't have to do something like press up, A, up to do X or whatever?
No, there's none of that. That said, we are going to be getting some cool commands pretty soon, in fact. The map's also kind of useful because it has, like, passageways you missed in case you need to get something else.
Yeah, so very Castlevania mapping systems.
Yes, this game is basically Castlevania, but with levels instead of a fully connected open world system.
So Portrait of Ruin, basically.
I actually haven't played Portrait of Ruin. I actually have not played any of the Castlevania games.
Portrait of Ruin,
Shame.
basically, it had a castle that was connected, but a lot of the levels were just sort of self-contained.
I played a 3DS game demo on an airplane, and I remember not liking it and thought it was pretty horrible.
Order?
What was the 3DS?
Yeah. Wasn't
That
Order
was Mirror of Fate.
Yeah, it was probably that one.
Mirror of Fate is not that great. It's okay, but it's not... Yeah.
So we just got a new ability. Our ears can become chains.
An ear scan does what? Ooh, that was probably really hard to translate. You're getting rid of your humanity, Jonathan. I'm already a rabbit. This changes nothing.
Hey, better a rabbit than a vampire.
We are now basically, the game is starting to become Paper Mario, effectively, which is good.
So out of curiosity, with these chains, can you, like, gain height with them? Because it's looking like you just sort of flip off.
Well, you'll see.
It's much more, looking much more useful for horizontal distance rather than vertical.
Right, you can jump off of them, but it isn't also, sometimes my controller doesn't work correctly. So, you're not going to see me traverse the cool room with chains, but...
I have to admit, though, I'm kind of a little disappointed with these mummies. They seem to recover a little too thast.
Yeah, they're just meant to be, don't go here. Get off this plane of existence without them being spikes immediately.
Yeah, I suppose.
But they are just... yeah. I'm not too happy with the mummy system.
Like if they just sort of took an extra second to get back up, then it would make sense, because it's still, like, a big trouble to get rid of them.
Yep. But I do agree, if they had a bit of delay, it would be better. But yeah, you can't win them all.
Yeah.
Is there a way to eventually kill them?
I don't think so.
Huh.
But maybe I have not tried out all the sub weapons. There's like, you saw the menu. There's like 10 sub weapons. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And also, like, you pretty much have a sub weapon per level and a main ability per level if you didn't expect it.
Yeah. So, out of curiosity, when you hit things, does it actually stop your falling momentum when you attack stuff in the air?
You can do the aerials, and that'll basically make you pause in midair. But that's your only way of hitting... Well, do you mean, like, take damage from something?
That too, because I'm just thinking, like, because this sort of seems like, in a lot of fan makes of Castlevania-style games, they give you the ability to skip stuff by doing, like, damage hopping or stuff like that.
Yeah. You can get knocked back, but it's not... You can't really skip anything with knockback.
Yeah, you can't, like, hop off stuff using different abilities or chain your way across a pit before you're supposed to.
Or... wasn't that something really crazy you could exploit in, what was it, Symphony of the Night, where if you took, like, half your health and damage, then you'd get knocked back...
like a bullet?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the way you kept all of your items when, in the beginning, you'd get attacked by one of the wargs after taking off all your stuff, and you'd get flung through the cutscene room before the cutscene could trigger, and then it would just skip it. But you'd keep all your stuff.
Yep. You can also see I'm starting to use the dash a little bit more. The dash is kind of awkward because it pauses your momentum, but you go through enemies, which is kind of nice, and it's also just nice for traversal. And
hey, Geniari Kato, how you doing?
Hey. So this guy isn't ominous and villainous at all. What do you think?
Well, no, I'm getting more of a Japanese businessman kind of vibe from him.
Really?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why I don't like... I'm not a huge fan of the person sprites with, like, the giant head, tiny body thing going on.
It's an art style, and as long as it sort of keeps to it, it's not so bad, but...
Now that you've mentioned Japanese businessman, I'm reminded of some of the weird discussion in Third Birthday LP thread.
Oh, please, no. This is a good game.
Shush you.
And to be honest, I do not see Mahone as being refreshingly vulnerable.
Fair enough.
Also, yeah, my controller acted up again. I don't know why. Sometimes I have trouble jumping and chaining. It just happens.
So out of curiosity, does it sort of like snap to the chain, or do you actually have to like get it spot on?
No, it snaps from basically a pretty far radius.
Okay.
And you can chain things like that. You can chain your chains, heart.
Yeah.
So...
Defense +1.
Yeah. Will you eventually get a way to upgrade your health or sub-weapon capacity?
Yes, actually. You can get MP and HP upgrades.
Okay. But there's no leveling
nice.
system, it's just finding secret pieces of equipment?
Yep. The defense +1, we got that from the turtle shell in the first episode, you might remember.
Yeah.
Also, good job, me.
It's a sad thing, though, that Banfield took that carrot, because that means he's now going to be cursed by a Amset, the Egyptian god of carrots.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Fortunately, though, it won't affect him for 80 years, so it won't matter.
No, he's pretty good. Also, did Banfield really take... our name is Jonathan Banfield. I already forgot our last name. Also, yeah, more hidden walls, and we get some noodles.
So I'm guessing food items are basically just potions.
Kind of. They're recovery items, but usually each one has a weird special effect. So Udon is actually kind of like a Starman. It's your invincibility power-up, or like your way overpowered power-up.
The local udon chef left it out. Yep, he just was spelunking for ingredients and then died.
Yep,
in
the bottom of the invisible pit of whatever. I don't even know whose temple this is, or pyramid this is.
It's Sect. We brought this up. We need one of the holy grails he was charged with defending. Out of curiosity, if you dash here, do you just slam into the spikes and die?
I'm quite sure you do.
So this dash doesn't make you literally invincible to
Actually,
everything.
I'm not sure about spikes, but I don't think I've ever been stupid enough to test it, if you will. But yeah, the shield attack and the machine gun are actually pretty useful here for just taking up the enemies at range. And this is sort of a...
this is kind of...
You could actually make it, but I am...
Yeah, I know, I just don't like stuff like this where it's like, if you don't whip it... Since you don't know what's coming up, if you whip it wrong, you just gotta have to wait for a bit. It's just like,
a little bit of patience goes a long way. But you can see that there is a pretty big range on the chain, so I could have made it first try. But those any red spikes are actually insta-kill. It's not like you take damage, it's just the red blood-stained one are insta-kill. So it's worth just waiting it out.
So...
This game has a lot of flavor text, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
a lot of flavor text.
I'm surprised that the text boxes are so large and yet there's so little in them every time there's text.
Usually it's the other way around with Japanese games, right? It's like...
Well, it depends on text compression, honestly.
Yeah.
It was the same thing that affected the old Mega Man Battle Network games. Where stuff would be like, you could get like Metal Man EXE or whatever, but when you translate it to English, what you could do in like 4 characters, now you have to do in like 10.
Right.
So either you have to shrink the words, or you just like get stuff
maybe
like...
the font was just huge in the Japanese version. Because I can imagine a lot of those lines are like, what? 5-6 lines of kanji? So...
Yeah, it depends on whether or not they want to be like really fancy with it.
Yep.
Though this boss is looking like a big block of health.
Yeah, he's basically... I don't even remember what he's called. It's like Godot or something. No, he's not Godot. But that would be a good name for this guy. The Coffee Man. But yeah, he's kind of difficult because he's just a tank. And you have to basically play him tanky.
I'm getting the feeling, actually, from looking at his attacks, it looks like you're basically supposed to recognize patterns with this boss.
Well,
yeah. They're all
because he's got the
bosses.
3 stomps, and then he will always advance forward after the 3rd.
Yep. There's actually is a slight amount of randomness with it, but like he won't always do the rock spawn here, but
I have to admit some of this is a little bit annoying. Can you just dash through people, or...
I actually don't know if you can dash through this, but your main point of attack is actually to just tank him and
stand on the ground.
Do your forward-facing attack, because that does 8 versus an aerial, which does 5.
Yeah, I can see that, but with aerials you get much better coverage.
Yeah, but they're also slower and other reasons. Also, I'm down to 10 health, so I have to basically stop playing carelessly and actually try and fight him and dodge things.
Yeah.
And I think I'm doing... Yeah, I can do a few pieces of health recovery, but not much. But thankfully, with enough persistence, patience, dodging, and video game playing skills...
At least we possess 2 of those things.
Yeah.
Dodging and video game skills are my particular ones, but still.
Yeah. And... Andre has
already
managed to show up.
Andre already stole our grail.
Oof.
Oof.
This is why you need to check for the back entrance first. I just... You just let him walk in. You did all the work.
Is he the protagonist of some alternate storyline, or did I misinterpret some of the Steam previews?
No, he's the villain. As seen by his villainous motorcycle.
With convenient vector graphics.
There's a lot of confusing things going on. There's a lot of characters. And we will be introduced to even more of them soon.
God, I love that he just has a shitty van.
Next time.
I wonder if the satellite reception is any good.